Hello everyone, welcome to Chelsea Sport Focus. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started.
Arsenal's long-term recruitment strategy is once again being pushed into the spotlight after new reports suggest that Mikel Arteta and the club's South American scouting network have set their sights on a pair of prodigious 16-year-old twin attackers from Ecuador, Edwin Quintero and Holger Quintero. What initially sounded like another standard scouting mission has now evolved into a storyline that speaks to Arsenal's growing ambition, their desire to compete with Europe's most aggressive youth-focused clubs, and their willingness to follow a blueprint that Chelsea have already mastered. And for some within the club, this pursuit raises as many questions as it answers about the balance between future potential and the development pathways of their own academy stars. Arsenal's interest in the twins did not appear overnight. According to sources close to Independiente del Valle, the Gunners have been quietly tracking the brothers for nearly a year. The Ecuadorian club is already renowned for discovering and nurturing elite talent, with names like Moises Caicedo and Kendry Porres becoming symbols of how quickly a teenager from their academy can rise into the European spotlight. Chelsea have aggressively tapped into that market, and their success, including the long-term strategic signing of Diana Ordóñez for 2028, has forced Arsenal to rethink their position in South America. For a club that once unearthed Gabriel Martinelli from the Brazilian 4th Division, this new mission seems both nostalgic and strategic, a reminder that one bold move can sometimes change the trajectory of a club. For the twins, the excitement around them in Ecuador is already reaching new heights. Edwin Quintero, the right-sided attacker, has been singled out for his sharp footwork, elastic movement, and flair that many local scouts believe echoes a young Neymar. His performances at the Under-17 South American Championship showcased not only his technical range but also a confidence rarely seen in players his age. The goals he scored were instinctive, the assist he registered was calculated, but what impressed observers most was the fearless way he demanded the ball in tight spaces. His brother Holger, although less flashy, may be the one with the broader long-term ceiling. A natural number 10 with the intelligence to drop deeper or drift wide, he is considered the more cerebral of the two. Coaches have described his decision-making as unnervingly mature, the type of player who sees solutions before defenders even recognize danger. His debut for Ecuador's Under-17 team last year, in a friendly against Costa Rica, hinted at a playmaker who already thinks like a senior professional. His versatility matches the exact type of profile Arteta looks for: adaptable, composed, and multifunctional. If Arsenal do move for them, they will not arrive until 2027 when they turn 18. That delay adds a layer of intrigue to the entire pursuit. It means Arsenal are not just planning for next season or even the one after. They are thinking far beyond, preparing for a squad that may look very different in 2 years. It signals a club making decisions beyond immediate results, shaping a foundation for the next generation of Arsenal football. But the excitement around their talent comes with difficult questions, especially regarding the future of Max Daumann. Many inside the Arsenal academy rate Daumann as one of the brightest midfielders to emerge in years. His potential is such that the club have been meticulously managing his progression, ensuring he develops with both freedom and protection. Bringing in two players of similar age, and arguably similar roles, could create a logjam at a crucial stage of Daumann's development. Nwaneri navigated this balance well, but not every teenager thrives under direct competition. Some Arsenal supporters argue that adding the twins could send the wrong message to their local academy talents, who fear that the club's increasing fascination with South American prospects may overshadow their own path to the first team. Others counter that competition is part of elite football. They believe that if Daumann truly is as exceptional as his coaches say, he would rise above the challenge just as Bukayo Saka did at his age. Behind the scenes, Arteta is said to be fascinated by both brothers. He understands the risk, but he also sees the opportunity. Arsenal have watched Chelsea build a global talent pipeline, and despite the criticism of that approach, it helped deliver a Club World Cup title and stack the squad with assets that can be developed, sold, or integrated. Arsenal cannot match Chelsea financially, but they can match them in foresight, discipline, and strategic vision. For Arteta, the possibility of bringing in two players who could grow into key figures under his long-term project is worth exploring. What remains clear is that this potential move represents something bigger than two Ecuadorian teenagers. It is a statement of intent. Arsenal are positioning themselves to compete not only in the transfer market of today, but in the one of tomorrow. They are taking calculated risks, looking beyond Europe, and refusing to let rivals dominate the emerging markets of global football. Whether Edwin and Holger Quintero eventually become Gunners or not, their story captures the direction Arsenal want to go: youthful, global, ambitious, and meticulously planned. And as always in football, time will reveal everything. If they succeed, Arsenal will look visionary. If they do not, questions will be asked. But the courage to scout boldly is often what separates the good clubs from the great ones, and Arsenal are choosing to act like a club ready to shape the future rather than simply respond to it. Chelsea believe they've unearthed a future world megastar at Cobham, the rise of Josh Acheampong Blue Heart Fire. Chelsea Football Club has spent decades building one of the most respected academies in world football. Cobham has produced legends, leaders, and Premier League winners, but every so often, a name emerges that feels different, special, unique, destined for a completely different level of greatness. And right now, inside those pristine Cobham training pitches, Chelsea believe they've found someone who could one day become one of the best players in the world in his position. His name is Josh Acheampong, and the belief inside Chelsea is not just excitement, it's conviction. The Cobham blueprint: talent plus trust plus timing. Chelsea often get mocked by rival fans for big spending, but the reality is that even during the heaviest spending eras, Cobham talent always forms the spine of the team. Reece James, Levi Colwill, Conor Gallagher, Trevoh Chalobah, Mason Mount, the list is endless. But with the direction the club is now taking, guided by Enzo Maresca's trust in young technical defenders, the club is more convinced than ever that developing a new generation of elite footballers is the real long-term plan. Acheampong has been quietly developing behind the scenes for years. Scouts rave about him. Coaches trust him. Analysts love him. Senior players approve of him. And the higher he climbs, the louder the noise gets. What started as whispers in the academy corridors has now become full-blown belief from the people who know football the most. The scout who first discovered him is destined for the top. According to the report, the very scout who first spotted Acheampong as a kid remains absolutely convinced that he will one day rise into the category of the best in the world. This isn't empty praise. Chelsea has had hundreds of extremely talented youngsters in the last 20 years, but very few get described with that level of certainty. What makes Acheampong different? Presence, authority, calmness, intelligence, timing, power, confidence. At only 19 years old, he plays with the maturity of someone in their late 20s. He controls spaces like a veteran. He reads danger like a seasoned professional. And most importantly, Maresca trusts him in one of the hardest roles in modern football, the ball-playing centre-back. Maresca's plan: build, develop, and unleash. One thing that's clear since Maresca arrived: he values defenders who can defend with both brain and bravery. Acheampong fits that profile perfectly. Maresca didn't throw him into the deep end, he introduced him carefully, step by step. Training sessions first. Then bench appearances. Then late second half cameos. Then full Premier League starts. And the moment he stepped onto the pitch, something became clear. This was not a boy trying to survive,